How does it feel to win a Global Young Journalist Award? It feels incredible. I want to be a journalist. I'm particularly interested in political journalism, so winning this award, particularly in this category, is very encouraging for me. I'm also particularly proud to be winning talking about feminism. There are a lot of strong women in my family who have inspired me in my talking about feminism and women's issues, and particularly in our current culture where bills like Roe v. Wade are being overturned in the US. I think voicing female opinions is particularly important. As well as that, winning as a young queer woman, talking about transphobia in a way that I've not really seen discussed much in mainstream media makes me very proud.
Hi, my name is Timur and I'm one of the 2025 Global Young Journalist Award winners. I won my award in the category Science and Technology. For me, winning the award has been an amazing feeling. Initially, when I saw the letter that I'd won the award, I was met with an overwhelming joy and happiness.
Hello, I'm Alara Johnston and I'm the winner of the Global Young Journalist Award 2025. So how does it feel to win this award? It feels like quite a major accomplishment, as even in the title it's listed global, which means there have been many entries across the world and mine has been chosen, which feels quite solid. It feels nice. It's a good achievement. But I do believe that what I've done or the piece I've submitted is more important than winning the award, because I wanted to raise awareness of climate change, as with all the media's eye been taken up by different news stories recently. I wanted them to drift the focus more onto climate change. Climate change seems to be being forgotten, and it's one of the biggest issues right now.
Hi, I'm Tian Lang, and I'm this year's award winner for the Global Young Journalist Awards in the sports category. Winning this award feels honestly amazing. From start to finish, from first writing my article, to submitting it to the day, to seeing it get published, to see so many people read it, and to eventually seeing where it's at right now, seeing what I've accomplished. I think this whole process, this whole journey has been very fun, very rewarding. So I'm very grateful to everyone for this incredible experience. To be honest, this award was something that I really didn't expect almost at all. So I'd say this definitely came with a bit of a surprise. But now that I've won it, I think it's something I'll remember. I'll definitely not forget it for a very long time.
This opportunity feels incredible. I am beyond grateful. To be recognized at the Global Young Journalists Awards is such an honor, and as someone who truly believes in the power of words, I am so grateful that this piece resonated with the judges.
When I was brainstorming, nothing stuck out for me, so I started scrolling through TikTok. When I realised that I was scrolling through TikTok, I realised that iPhone addiction could be quite an interesting premise to make my article about, and so I did.
As I've mentioned, I'm a lesbian who's very interested in politics, so I find myself in a lot of queer political spaces online. The views I see platformed there quite often, I don't see as much talked about in mainstream media. I also find the way that trans women existence has been used to manufacture this cultural war, not only divide women and step back feminism, but also divide the queer community, particularly when it is black trans women like Marsha P. Johnson who've been driving forces in queer liberation and the journey to gaining queer equality. And I just think it's incredibly disrespectful to then divide that community against trans people because of this, in my opinion, made up fear that I don't think is valid at all. So I wrote the article to hopefully platform a view that I haven't seen mentioned very much, as well as talk about issues that personally affect me and my community, which I'm very passionate about.
Now, why did I write this article? Well, it's not just because I obviously love football. In China especially, obviously this applies to many countries, but in China especially, I think football is something that goes far beyond just the sport itself. I think it's complicated and fascinating in so many different ways. And so when I dug a little deeper to finally, answer some of the questions I had about Chinese football for myself, I think I found it very interesting. And so I thought of writing this article as a nice way to learn more for myself and also to share it with others. Thank you.
I believe that the media hasn't been focusing as much on climate change as they should be. And I believe that climate change should be more talked about as it could destroy the world soon. And teenagers and children my age are going to be the ones affected. We are the generation that climate change is going to affect the most. And I think it's really important to think about that when you think about our future, and that we should protect the climate because we will be the ones enduring the consequences soon.
This piece was inspired by how often society tries to control women through expectations, tradition, and sometimes the law. From everyday restrictions to large scale political decisions, it sends a message that women's bodies and choices need to be controlled. I wanted to explore the ways that regulation is often disguised as culture and how that affects the lives of so many women around the world. Writing this was my way of pushing back and asking the questions that nobody asks. Who does the system really serve? And what are we going to do about it?
I want to thank Richard, my English teacher, for helping me write and work on my article, as well as Zoe, the editor from The Day, for helping me publish my article. I also want to thank my family and friends for encouraging and supporting me. And I also want to thank you guys for reading my article.